YouTube, what's going on? This is Eddie from the Too Heavy Wrestling Podcast, and we're going to be diving into our history books, talking about the Elimination Chamber from 2010. First off, I'd like to give a big shout out to Clayton for suggesting this video because the Elimination Chamber 2010 pay-per-view was so severe in planning out WrestleMania 26, and so many things happened within that pay-per-view, so let's dive right on into it. First, let's talk about the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. Now, of course, we had John Cena defending his WWE Championship against the likes of Sheamus, Randy Orton, Triple H, Ted DiBiase, and Kofi Kingston. Now, the big reason why this was such a severe Elimination Chamber is because going into the match, Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase had some animosity along with Cody Rhodes. And with Legacy going into this pay-per-view, it seemed like Legacy was going to break up at WrestleMania. Now, Cody Rhodes ended up bringing a steel pipe down to the ring and trying to throw it into Randy Orton. However, Ted DiBiase intercepted the pipe and ended up hitting Randy Orton with it. This led to Ted DiBiase pinning Randy Orton and eliminating him from the Elimination Chamber. This ended up in the following weeks being the fallout of why Legacy actually broke up. Legacy was such a big trio in the WWE in 2008, 2009, and 2010. But of course, this was the final straw for Randy Orton, which ended up being the big turn for him being a babyface, and ended up feuding with Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes going into WrestleMania. Ted DiBiase would end up getting eliminated by Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston would get eliminated. Then Sheamus, Triple H, and of course John Cena winning that championship. However, after the matchup, we had Batista come out and actually beat John Cena. And of course, this is actually the second time John Cena had to defend his WWE Championship after successfully defending it inside of an Elimination Chamber. The first time, of course, was at the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view where Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, going into the World Heavyweight Title Elimination Chamber, we had the likes of Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, Drew McIntyre, Kane, Chris Jericho, and The Undertaker. Now, the severity of this match was really big because it ended up being Chris Jericho and The Undertaker as the last two individuals. And Shawn Michaels actually was under the Elimination Chamber structure, came in and super kicked The Undertaker, and Chris Jericho ended up getting the pin and winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, we have to look at the severity of this Elimination Chamber because, yes, not necessarily the most memorable pay-per-view in my opinion, at least. We got a lot of big things happening towards WrestleMania. Of course, with Legacy being the most dominant trio at the time for 2008, 2009, and 2010, having them split up going towards WrestleMania was very big. It had Randy Orton become a babyface and beating Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes in a triple threat match at WrestleMania, and ultimately ended the trio's actual run. And of course, with Shawn Michaels super kicking The Undertaker, this showed that Shawn Michaels just won one last WrestleMania moment and would do anything to get his hands on it, and even costing The Undertaker the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, leading into WrestleMania 26, this was not the case for Shawn Michaels, actually putting on another instant classic, but losing the match and was forced into retirement by The Undertaker. This would also lead into Batista versus John Cena at WrestleMania, which everyone was dying to see, of course. But it made John Cena look even more overpowered than he was before, and we got to see a really big matchup from the two of them. Another big point is Triple H at this matchup, it led to him and Sheamus at WrestleMania, and actually this ended up being one of Triple H's last big full-time pushes. After this, he got a series of injuries and wasn't able to compete full-time anymore. Maybe not the best pay-per-view in my opinion, but it led into a load of content going into WrestleMania, so that's something we can all be thankful for. Being at the event was actually the best thing possible because when it came to St. Louis, we got to do a whole lot there, and getting to witness this chamber and the severity of it, and having Shawn Michaels pop out from under the structure was very big to me in my childhood. So that was a very big matchup, and WrestleMania was even bigger because of the events that led up to it. So I would like to thank everyone for coming out and supporting the channel. And if you do have any topics that you would like to see in the future leading up to WrestleMania, please comment them down below. But until then, my name's Eddie with the Too Heavy Wrestling Podcast, and thank you all for watching.